thank you for attending. Appreciate the time out of your practice here at the end of the year. I know, contrary to popular belief, if you are in this business, you're definitely working probably harder than you'd like to during December. We've had a great year with business coming in. Appreciate all your efforts in doing so. And also congratulations to those of you on the call that may not be with us that hit your revenue objectives too. A lot of people out there in our annuity world that need their existing contract reviewed. Replacements are more of a not an obligation, but a duty in a way to review and make sure with some of the pricing differences. We've got another webinar if you do want to hear further information on managing market value adjustments. There's an opportunity there with existing clients. Call it the almost the shock wave that comes after the boom of replacements that we did see into bonus products. We're now seeing positive MBAs on policies, some that have been written in 2020. So give us a call if you'd like us to take a look and run a book of your business and identify potential people that you may want to review with. Today, we're going to bring on, we're going to introduce here in a second, one of the industry's most powerful carriers as it relates to annuity comparisons when it comes to, particularly today, we're going to be talking about their income benefits with American Equity. And prior to getting into that, I'm going to share a little bit about PBS as an introduction here for those that may be unaware of some of the benefits of working with us, and for our existing agents on the phone, some reminders here of additional monies in your pocket. So let's start off with joining us. First off, if you're new on the call or if you're looking and considering joining IMES, one of the things that we do in our first 180 days together is we line up our goals very instinctly. So you've got an opportunity with a new customer. In our business, the faster that we can have you actually see everything that we do and realize everything, you have a better way of making a full decision. Our goal is make IMES your home as it relates to service. So in our first 180 days, we're going to compensate you additional monies here for your marketing. As it shows here, for $100,000 in fixed indexed annuity premium, as an example, or $10,000 in target premium, we're going to, at that level, in your first 180 days, when you get to that, we're going to cover either a postcard mailing or a seminar mailing that you have, maybe getting into 1,500 pieces or more, cash for $750 cash, or an iPad here in the example, or pre-formatted emails as part of your marketing analysis, and a corporate identity package for imaging your practice. All the way at the in the middle level here, the 750 or the 500, those numbers just go up. Bottom line is, if you're working with us and transitioning your practice to writing business with us, we want to help offset some of your marketing costs. Have a conversation with your business development director, your primary contact here at IMES, if you're new with us, or myself, and we'll work out a plan. If you've got expenses that don't fit these items on the list, our overall point's the same. We just want to make sure that you get a great start with IMES and a jump start. Going forward after that 180 days, we also have a marketing reimbursement program. The way this account works is our accounting department keeps track of your account balance that can be used for reimbursement for marketing expenses in your practice, both via the programs that IMES has partnerships with, and also depending on what marketing you're using, your marketing that you're currently using. And the way that works are credits is, one, they never expire, which is key. I've worked for, this will be my third IMO, and every one of those accounts has an expiration date in many cases. This doesn't expire. It builds for every 100,000 in indexed annuity premium, as an example. $100 goes into that account, builds up quickly, and those balances can be used, like many of you already are working with me that I work with directly, looking at our plans next year to compensate or cover some of those front end first quarter marketing expenses that many of us are excited to get back in front of people again, but we may not necessarily want to pay the full cost. So we get that. You're going to have that count. In addition to that, some of you in the room may have been referred to us. One of our, surprisingly not, just like your practice may be, one of our strongest areas of recruiting, our best relationships seem to just naturally come from referrals and introductions. Appreciate that, because in our case, our market is you. So if you are working with someone that you also believe would be benefit from our services and the experience you've had with IMES, we're going to pay you for that. And the way we do that is out of our pocket, not theirs or yours. We don't set up a hierarchy relationship. We're going to pay you $50 in a one-time bonus when the referred individual that you call or that you give us, and we reach out and do all the contact with once they contract. So once they appoint with the carrier, And then beyond that, we're going to pay basis points on your production or on their production to you. So you're going to get, this will be straight cash. You can see the amounts down there, a trail off their business into perpetuity. So if they do business for the next 20 years, even beyond you being in the business, you're still going to get paid on that, not coming out of their pocket, coming out of ours. So we appreciate the referrals, and those build up quickly. We'd be happy to help. Back office support. IMES is continually winning service awards. At one of our drivers here at IMES is to attempt to we pick up a phone call within 2 rings. The reason we do that is we've heard from our consumer, you the agent, that you appreciate having a live contact. Sometimes you just need to speak with someone to explain it. During business hours, IMES is available with no voicemail. So you can catch us very similar, and we'll get to Brian here in a second, to what I experienced in the early days with American Equity, working with Dave, 2001 or so, when they were getting their start. The benefit that you got with that carrier was, at the time, top notch, and it makes all the difference. So we're continuing to strive in that area, and that has a lot to do with our new business team, processing team. Appreciate the efforts they do. They have to help all of our practices grow. We are on the web, so we strive to keep everything that or most of what we have, allowing you to be able to take action during our off hours when you can't get a hold of us. So in the evening, you're looking at articles, sales tools, preparing for your presentation. We need to run some quotes. You can do a lot of this right on our website. Give your new business or your primary contact here at IMES a call, and be happy to go through an orientation with you or send you a pre-recorded webinar we've done in the past via YouTube of a walkthrough of our website. Be amazed what you may not realize is out there. Sometimes I don't even know. They update it so fast they don't even inform me, which is great. So sometimes new stuff out there. Definitely get out to our website. If you have any issues, give us a call logging in. Speaking of the website, when it is time to turn opportunity and helping a client into supporting our practices via the revenue that we all strive to attain, taking applications can be done on our website. We are in partnership with Firelight, as well as iPipeline, Sunfire for some of the senior services we do, Luma as well. Now, Luma allows us to, when you do write business with IMES, the carriers that you've written will be, those applications will be in one place and one location for the majority of carriers you write with us, to include current surrender values on your existing policies. So this is an area where we can provide detail. You can access it on your own to see where people currently stand amongst all your carriers, rather than just reaching out to one company and having your assistant, culminate each one of those statements or calling IMES to get it. You can actually, by using Luma and Firelight, we can do that for you. So if you have any questions, let us know. Happy to talk further with that about you, or further with you about that. Our creative services team. So we work with so many professionals that are phenomenal at what they do. The biggest and almost frustrating point to some of us when we see the expertise that each one of you have is then your imaging and your marketing may not be telling the whole entire neighborhood how good you are as fast as it should. And so that's typically when we seek out imaging, marketing, and we can help identify a producer in their area to highlight the beneficial work that they do and who they'd like to work with, which again leads to more prospects coming to our door. But being as professional as you truly are, I think your image, it's like diamonds behind the velvet. Your image is shining brighter. We just need to put you in a better outfit sometimes, or myself in a better outfit. Your expertise, what you do with clients, is top notch. We can work with you on putting together a plan, everything from a logo design all the way through a complete social media campaign, email marketing, etc. So if you have any questions on creative services, or would have an interest in having your marketing plan, what your current marketing plans are, maybe what they were for this year or what you have already put together for 2026, we can put together a complete marketing analysis through a questionnaire with you, phone call, and then a follow-up phone call to go through your detailed marketing analysis to complete with marketing and prospecting systems that line up with your individual objectives, how much revenue you want, how many new people you want to see. That's a free service we offer. It also allows us, if you're coming on new with us, it allows us, can't think of a quicker way to be immediately on the same page within your practice and how we can help. So that marketing analysis, if you would like to request one of those, there'll be an opportunity at the end, but by all means, contact your primary contact or me, Justin Ford, here at IMES. Wealth management, if you are currently considering picking up your Series 65, maybe you see others and you like the opportunity of being able to control the funds and not have to deal with transfer companies, work with the client's complete wealth picture to build their further relationship, and you're looking at getting your 65 or have questions, we are an active corporate RIA, our IMES Wealth Management, just approaching the mark. One of the milestones that they were talking about this morning is we're halfway to $1 billion in assets under management. Majority of our agents are also indexed annuity and income rider understanding, if you will. They understand the benefit of integrating the annuity into the plan as it helps offset sequence of return risk, as well as the products that we sell and offer through the RIA. So if you have interest in joining or just have some questions about maybe you want to get your 65, or if you'd like to add that additional revenue stream for assets under management to your practice, give us a call. Be happy to take a look at get you the information on IMES Wealth and have you talk to Duncan or one of the recruiters over on IMES Wealth. See if that partnership would be a fit for you. Our training academies, world famous, if you will, nationally famous amongst our industry. We will have dates for next year soon. So those of you that haven't already told your primary contact, hey, I'd like to attend one of these. I know I talked to a couple folks yesterday that I added to kind of our tick list on this. Start thinking of some times here coming up. We'll be getting some dates out to you. Love to have you come out to our home office, get back in front of some of the multi-million-dollar keynote speakers, the ideas, the endless stream of prospect programs we'll cover, as well as advanced sales ideas. But you could kind of leave all that aside and say the side benefit is also being in a room with handfuls of other producers that also are striving for the same thing. Sometimes that synergy just does it above all else when you are an independent agent. Trips, speaking of kind of relaxing and celebrating the wins we've had this year, one of the trips we have coming up is our Capcana trip. This is a partnership with Athene as a carrier. The dates are here. If you have interest or you'd like to check your point value, definitely let us know, your primary contact. The event's coming up in here in March in 2026. As we go forward, in addition to that, we're currently working with the Peak Producers Summit. This event will be in Park City, Utah, partnership with SILAC, coming up on August 2nd through the 5th. And in that case, the qualification through SILAC, $2 million production down at the bottom there, May through the end of April. A lot of golf scenery, whiskey tasting. Can't think of a better time there with the folks from Utah. And then our trip, two tickets to Paradise, our Nassau trip. Currently, we're earning, and this is where I'll step in again and say a little unique compared to other IMOs. Our primary trip, we have several throughout the year, but IMES' trip, primary qualification trip for sales, is an 18-month qualification window. So in other words, we don't do like typically the 1 year at a time qualification. Your production for 18 months is counted. Trip date will be coming up here in 2027. And right now you have the opportunity to earn 2 times trip points on all submitted indexed annuity business, including American Equity. And that business submitted November 1st through December 31st of 2025. You've got your periods there of time. And then in addition, and that's the double credit period, is December 1st through, November 1st through the 31st. The trip itself, you're looking at July 1st through the 31st of 2026 is the qualification period. So if you see at the top left, qualification period, and then currently earning 2 times trip credit for that business that you write in the time period listed between November 1st and the 31st. 6 million points to qualify, and essentially it's $6 million in premium on the index side. If you consider that, we do look at your life target premium as well as single premium life. And as you can imagine, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, anywhere you can imagine, if you find a place other than Snapchat that we're not at, let us know and we'll get at it. So that's enough of me talking here. Appreciate you all being here. Look forward to working with you. I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine, Brian, from American Equity, and we're going to be covering today, and with his great presence, the opportunity with American Equity, maybe what's new with American Equity, one of the top leading income providers out there. Maybe a little about their products and probably some stuff that I don't know about yet. That's what I appreciate about with Brian. I'm going to let him take over. Brian, thank you for attending. I'm going to switch over the presentation now. I think your audio is on here. a sec.
Yeah, am I good to go, Justin? You got me there?
Yes, sir. Yep, you got it.
Perfect.
I'm just going to switch
Perfect.
this over and it'll be good.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you, having me here today, kind of going over a little bit on the income side of things. And Justin, I just wanted to reiterate as well, the you talked about service being a key factor that you folks look for at IMES. I love that we try to answer the phone within 2 rings. One thing that American Equity always really harped on was the ability to have a live person in Des Moines, Iowa on the phone, within 90 seconds. That's always been kind of our service model. And I'll obviously, having that type of model has shown, it will, at the end of the presentation, I'll kind of cover some, obviously we've had some awards that we've won for, service, trustworthiness, but I'll cover those so you can see those as well too. So, but I just wanted to hop on here, a little bit about myself, obviously with American Equity here, been with the company going on 12 years now. So always been in marketing, always been in sales, working with our national accounts team at this time. I was an internal wholesaler previously for a few years. So I've been in it kind of in the sales marketing department since I've been with the organization. And yeah, they treat us well. So I can't say enough good things about them for sure. So let's get into, again, there's my contact information if you like, but let's get into it a little bit here as far as, talking about American Equity as a whole. We'll go over a few different slides here, and then we'll start getting into more guaranteed lifetime income and what that looks like. A couple of different scenarios, case studies, I should say, that we have, and I'll highlight some great information on the website that's easily accessible at your fingertips without needing to be an active advisor with us. So first things first, I wanted to highlight is a newer financial stability piece that we had that came out. You can see American Equity, Brookfield Wealth Solutions, and then Brookfield itself as an investment portfolio. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, American Equity was purchased by Brookfield Wealth Solutions here, I should say. And what they do, Brookfield does a ton of business, and they do a lot of work with commercial real estate. They do a lot of work with other organizations. There's one other insurance organization that they do own, does more on the fixed side of things versus American Equity, where we are more guaranteed lifetime income, accumulation, index products on that end. So kind of two different realms. But what Brookfield brings to the table for American Equity is, you see that number on the right-hand side underneath Brookfield, that's $1 trillion in assets. So their AUM of $1 trillion also means that, being underneath that umbrella, it allows Brookfield to invest more in us. So we've taken a lot of resources, and we've updated our agent website. It was very, very outdated in the past, and now thankfully they've inputted a ton of great money into that to get us current. And also, with that much financial backing, it has also made us able to increase our AM Best rating, as well as S&P and Fitch. I know before we were always A-, and that part of the reasoning behind the A- rating was only due to American Equity being a monoline organization. And when I say monoline, it has to do with, we work on fixed index annuities and only fixed index annuities. So we don't do any life insurance or any other offshoots like that. So if we were to broaden the horizons, that would have increased that number. But now that we have Brookfield and their backing, it was also able to help us show that we have the financial strength to indicate that we would, we deserve a better or higher rating, I should say, with those organizations. So really strong piece here. If anybody ever has questions about, if I don't know much about American Equity, what can you tell me? What's their, what do their numbers look like? They started in 1995, so they're not the oldest in the group, but, we have been able to build everything organically, one policy holder at a time here. American Equity didn't purchase any other organizations or buy policies, like anything like that in the past. So really been able to grow one policy holder at a time here and get to where we're at today. So a little bit about that. So you can see what are some of the benefits of American Equity. Like I was saying, a little bit about guaranteed protection from market. Obviously, zero's your hero with an indexed annuity. Multiple different crediting options we can offer. Also, locked in growth on that annual basis, and have the opportunity for some tax deferred growth, and ideally what we're going to cover today, guaranteed lifetime income. So you can offset that portion. So the things that we're going to cover today, a lot of variables. We're going to talk about some retirement unknowns, addressing common client concerns. There are a lot of variables when planning for how clients are going to fund their retirements. That's what we refer to these as retirement unknowns. We're going to address a few of these in the presentation, and worry about how we can protect and continue to grow our assets. The unknowns have been a big part of American Equity's push to create our IncomeShield or Asset Shield series of suites. But specifically today, we're going to cover our IncomeShield and our bonus offering that we have in that. But I'll highlight that a little bit more. But let's talk about some, what retirement space, these unknowns, I should say. What are some of the risks that we look at? Investment risk, inflation, healthcare costs. People are living longer, and things change. Social Security benefits change. So, which ones are most impactful for every client? I'm sure you hear the concerns I've listed up here on the slide on a daily basis, whether it be inflation, medical costs that never seem to stop increasing, longevity risk, Social Security benefits being cut by 20% by 2033 if Washington doesn't, step in and anything like that. So if anybody thinks taxes are going to be going down, I'd be surprised. I know I don't. When you take the time to hear your clients' concerns and address them directly, you can help them find the right solution. So fixed index annuity offer a range of benefits that can help with that, and specifically in guaranteed lifetime income. So, number one fear for retirees today in a survey after survey, and it makes complete sense with modern medicines. People exercise more, eat better, etc. According to the most recent data compiled by the Social Security Administration, a man that reaches age 65 today can expect to live until age 84, and a woman who's 65 today can expect to live to age 85. So 1 in 4 will live past 90, and 1 in 10 will live past 95. So there's just a lot more folks that are living longer that are really worried about that. And there's a lot of factors in why people are living longer. Obviously, they're eating more healthy, they're exercising more, supplements, early detection of potential health issues, and obviously modern medicine is also a big factor within that. So we're trying to figure out, what was in the past as far as the three-legged stool is not the same as what it is today. So personal pension, Social Security, personal savings, that was a three-legged stool that our parents, previous generations had access to, but it's not the same as what it is now. So that personal, that employee pension, that's moving away a thing of the past. A lot more 401ks that we're looking like there, but we're trying to figure out how we can offset that. That's what we're going to try to dive into here. So if you look at it, only 7% of Americans today will receive income from Social Security, a defined pension, and the defined contribution account in retirement. So the traditional three-legged stool was the go-to thinking about retirement. So now that has changed. So if we look at this here, retirement unknown, and the different generations, I should say, fewer and fewer workers have access to defined benefit plans. So nearly 40% of baby boomers have a defined benefit or pension as they enter retirement. Only 24% of Gen Xers will head to retirement with a defined benefit plan or pension, and only 8% of Gen Zs will have a defined benefit or pension. Much more common, like I said, was that 401k plan or employee match. So we got to figure out what does that new three-legged stool look like for us here. So we're going to look at a potential solution. Guaranteed income was number 2 item identified by new retirees for increasing their feelings of retirement security. So guaranteed lifetime income, let's look at that. American Equity IncomeShield Bonus 10. So I do want to let you know, I'm only covering the bonus version of the IncomeShield here today. I will let you know we do have a non-bonus version that is available. It's going to offer a little bit different payout factors on the product, but it would have the same 2 income roll-up rates that I'll go over here in a quick minute. So, but specifically on the bonus here, on the IncomeShield bonus, we have enhanced premium bonus of 14%, simple, 2 options I'm going to go over here in a minute, and some new growth options that we also did launch not too long ago with the product. So you can see a 14% bonus was an increase from 10% that we used to offer there. So I wanted to go over that specifically. 2 income rider options that we do have to offer. 10% simple, 6.5% compound, and it all depends on what your client's looking for. Many of you know we've been offering a menu of 5 different LIBR options in the past, but we noticed that election of those options was heavily weighted towards these 2 options. We had a 6.5%. We also had an 8.25%, but we did update that here to 10. Our option 1 rider here may be a good option for your clients that are looking to take income now, as well as those who might be a bit more fee adverse. Let me see here. So these are the 2 options that we have. Sorry, I've got a couple notes here I was reading here. I don't think they pertain specifically to that, but what we have here is income as soon as 1 year on both these options, and our well-being benefit that's automatically included with the riders, and all of it at there's a fee associated with it of 1.2% annually that comes off the contract value. So nothing is taken out of the income account value. So that's growing at a true 6.5 or 10%, whatever option you were looking to go into. Now I will show this page coming up. A lot going on. I will agree with that, but I wanted to highlight to you specifically, these are the different payoff factors that we have for clients. So depending on when the client opens the policy, there's going to be a payoff factor, or you'll go to that specific age and you follow that over to the date or the year when they want to turn on that guaranteed lifetime income. So we do have a couple different ones here that are available directly on the agent website, or the American Equity website, I should say. So you can, if you're trying to track down like what the payout percentage is, we can do it that way, or we have great illustration tools that are available right at the clients or right at the agent's fingertips to run to show what those numbers could potentially look like for clients there. So I just wanted to highlight what that page does. A lot going on, I do know that, but I just wanted to make sure you're aware of the different payoff factors that we do have available for the product. So I also want to let you know, not too long ago, we did add a couple new indices to the IncomeShield product. We did a case study, or we asked a lot of our advisors, like, well, what would you like to see in the different indices that we do have to offer? Name recognition was a big one. So that's why we're looking at that NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, obviously S&P 500. The S&P 500 is a little bit of the advantage there, a little bit of a higher volatility trigger that we're looking at there for that option. But I can tell you that these specific indices have been performing very well since inception. So if anybody's ever looking to see information on how they are performing, or dig in a little bit more about what it includes or how it has done, all that is available directly on the American Equity website. And I'll have a little bit of information here coming up in the presentation that also does highlight that information for us. So IncomeShield 10 features, what we're looking at there, obviously principal protection on an annual basis, tax deferral, great bonus here with this option, growth diversification, so clients can pick the different allocation options they do choose, have choice on what income rider they want to go with. And also I didn't hit on the penalty-free withdrawal availability. So starting in the 2nd year, if the client just needs to take a penalty-free withdrawal, they don't want to turn on their income, they do have the option of selecting up to a 10% penalty-free withdrawal starting in that 2nd year. So policy is available for individuals age 18 to 80. Income rider is available ages 40 plus, just know that for certain. So younger individuals might want to look at something more accumulation based for investments there. So and the product is on the chassis is a 10-year chassis for that as well. So let's look at this. Why waiting matters, I should say, or like why make a decision now versus waiting. So let's look at these 2 individuals. We have deciding Denise and waiting Wally. Denise, is 40. She elects to get into annuity at this age. Plans on turning on income. She's looking for $25,000 at age 60. Now she would need to put $109,000 in to get to that level, that $25,000 in 20 years. Whereas waiting Wally waits till he turns 50. In doing so, obviously there's less roll-up time. We utilize a 10% option as far as with the income rider to do so. Obviously try to generate that as much as possible with that income. 10 years of deferral, he's going to have to put in 83% more funds than what Denise does just by waiting that 10-year window. So if you have clients that are on the fence, like, oh, I'll do it next year, or I'll wait until I'm this age. Well, waiting matters, so don't take your time. If you have anybody that's halfway interested, make sure to stress that we don't obviously we don't know what things are going to look like here down the road either. Products can change. Let's make a move if we're going to make a move for you, so that way we can guarantee that income for us. So a little bit about that. And I also wanted to hit on the well-being feature. I know I told you that was part of the income rider option that is available here. So a little bit on the well-being feature, what that does, in the event the client cannot perform 2 out of 6 acts of daily living, they can execute this well-being feature. And what that does, it provides the client up to double their income on a single basis, or 1.5, for a period up to 5 years, to help take care of anything that they do choose. We don't require any sort of underwriting as far as how, we don't need any sort of proof on how funds are being spent, nothing like that. So all we would need would be a letter signed by a licensed medical professional indicating that the individual is not able to perform 2 out of those 6 ADLs, whether that be, eating, bathing, dressing, toileting, transferring, and incontinence. So if they're not able to do 2 out of those 6, we just need a form signed by a licensed medical professional, and we can trigger that well-being feature for that client. But like I said, it's up to 5 years, and on a single basis, we can double that. On a joint, it'd be 1.5. So, and at any point in time during that 5-year period, if the individual does get healthy again, original income payments will divert back. So I'm sorry, income payments that are doubled will revert back to the original. So let's say they were receiving 10,000, something happened, they're receiving 20,000, they receive 20,000 for 3 years, they get healthy, payments go back to that 10,000. So just because we ratcheted it up for a couple of years is not going to hurt the client's future income payments. So that's a good feature there. So just know with the well-being feature, there is a 2-year wait from policy inception on that. So just a heads up on that. But that would be the only really other trigger for that. So like you see here, it's not confinement driven, so they can be at home, they can be doing whatever, and they could use the funds to help pay for those hospital stays, or let's say the kids are coming to town, maybe to help kind of take care of things. If they want to utilize those funds to take everyone out for dinner, they could do so, or their hotel stays. However they do choose, they can utilize those funds as they please. So that's a little bit on that side of things. So next, I wanted to cover kind of how to categorize, how do we do a better retirement income plan. So you can see here a little bit of a sheet as far as how do you categorize your income, or like my needs, wants, and have to haves. Obviously there's essential expenses that you do have, there's things on your bucket list that you do have, and obviously there's the can't live withouts, in retirement for folks. So how we categorize it is kind of in a pyramid. So step 1 is, identifying that. Step 2, you categorize it: essential expenses, essential lifestyle, nice to have, and obviously those wishes. That could be maybe your wishes as that convertible, or taking that annual cruise, or going on that European vacation that you've always talked about, things like that. So but combine them, put them into categories here, like, okay, well, I have to have this to live, I want to do this in retirement, I really like to do this, and this is a pipe dream, or this is something that we potentially could do at some point in time. But basically, let's put on those essential expenses. We're talking mortgage, utilities, insurance, healthcare, food, clothing, essential lifestyle expenses, what you could do without but are very important to your retirement lifestyle. And that could be that golf membership, or maybe having lunch with your friends once a week, something like that. And those nice to haves, like I was saying, that maybe that annual cruise, or maybe that extra car, that convertible when you're down south living out the winter months. So you feel comfortable going without if you had to. So let's look at a case study here and what that does look like here for us. So we have Eric. Eric's currently age 59. He's retiring at age 65. Has a current income of $120,000. So he totaled his income, his lifestyle up, what he has, the nice to haves, essential to live, just to live off of. He's looking at almost $60,000. Added up a little bit more, essential expenses that he'd like to have, $21,000, and those nice to haves an additional 12. But it gives us a total of $91,836. So that's what we're working with. So let's review what we have here. So Social Security is what he does have a guarantee of. He does not have a private pension or annuity, so he draws no income there. So we're looking at, what is it, 2778 monthly. That puts us a little over 33,000 in guaranteed income for retirement. So we have to figure out where we're going to get the rest of that. So let's look here. So to calculate the retirement income Eric needs, we would match an essential expenses to our guaranteed income sources. We have an essential and non-essential expenses equating to 91,836, while our guaranteed income source totals at 33,000 and change. So let's review his expenses and his income. Eric identifies a potential guaranteed lifetime income gap of 58,500 a year. So that's what we're looking at there for that. So we also need to contribute or factor in inflation. Sorry about that. So if we look at a 3% inflation rate, 6 years of deferral, we'd have to times that number by that 1.19% factor, and that gives us a new adjusted total of that 109,285. So we're looking at that adjusted expenses to 9107 on a monthly basis. So let's look here what we can do. We're trying to get a specific number. So a premium of 326,644 in IncomeShield bonus 10 today would fill that income gap in essential expenses by creating that income stream of 2979. Again, this is going to cover that essential lifestyle side of things for us. So let's look here a little bit more as far as what it's going to take to get to those other levels. So a premium of 557,127 would fill in the gap in essential lifestyle expenses by creating a guaranteed income of a little over $5,000 monthly. And if we get to that 697,487, we can get to that 6,361 monthly by the age of 65, which would cover us here for that number that we were looking at as far as for all those, how he wants to live his life in his retirement by age 65. So a little bit about what it would take to get there. And the nice thing is we have all these great tools on the agent website or on the American Equity website that you can utilize to get the numbers that you're looking for. So say someone says, I need 25,000 or I need this specific dollar amount in retirement at this age. What's it going to take? What do I need to bring to the table? We have a nice tool that can do that. We can solve for a specific premium, what that would look like. So there's no guesswork in what the client's looking for down the road here. So we covered our IncomeShield bonus specifically, and don't forget, like I said, we also do have that non-bonus version that would offer some different payout factors there for that product too. So just kind of depends on when the clients want to take income, what version you look at there. So I just want to let you know that is also on the table here. But specifically on the bonus option, 14% bonus, 2 income rider options, and some new index allocations that we do bring to the table. So I did want to highlight some of the different other index options that we do have. So just so you are aware, we do work with BlackRock, just regular S&P. I know we talked about the S&P Advantage, Dividend Aristocrats, a little bit on the tech side, and I did cover that the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange as well. So clients can choose what they do want. They're not pigeonholed. If they don't like something, hey, you know what? On an annual basis at policy anniversary, the client does have the ability to go ahead and update their allocation how they ever do choose. So if they're not liking how something is performing, they can adjust that at that point in time. We do send out an 11-month summary that does go over all the numbers year to date at that point in time. So if they like it, they can stay. If not, they can either call in, or there's a specific form that would be included within that 11-month summary that the client can fill out and send back in, and we can get those updated for the coming year. So, and the nice thing is it'll show us returns of all said indexes to give them an opportunity to decide how the agent and the client, how they want to proceed with that. So let me see here. That's that. A little bit about, piggybacking off of what Justin was saying initially here, service has always been a big thing with us. Product integrity has always been a big thing for us on American Equity on our website. If clients ever talking about renewal rate integrity, nobody posts that. Nice thing is we have a section on the website that does talk about our renewal rate history. So if a client wants to see if a policy was opened back in 2015, 2018, what it's done each year till now, they can do so. They can pick the said product, and it will show up the different allocations and different rates, what those look like. And if there's been any movement or if there's been no movement. So it'll show us specifically what that does look like. So, and like I said, customer service, we answer the phone, someone here in Des Moines, Iowa, we pay commissions on a daily basis. And we have some great online application tools as well. Like I said, with the introduction to Brookfield, they've given us a lot of financial backing to increase and improve our application tools to really make them slick, smooth, easy processing, so nothing's ever missed. So, and also online, we have some great training videos. I think there is some things out on YouTube as well, as far as a few different things. But we try to simplify things as best as possible with, illustration software. I wanted to highlight that one specifically. They've done some great work on different options. If you want to see full detail, or if you just want a quick snapshot, we can do either one there for you. So here's just for anyone who hasn't taken the opportunity to check out the American Equity page, this is just our agent resource page. So you can see, very simple, talks about products, rates, you can access training, and all this can be accessed without being an active advisor. So you don't need to log in. This is just directly at your fingertips. You can check out all that information. I did want to highlight also the different calculators that we have available. So the first one's going to probably be our most popular one, the fixed index annuity software. That's going to show us market performance. And the way that we do our illustrations, we base our illustrations based off the past 10-year U.S. historical. So we're not cherry picking any numbers. It's based off the past 10 years. So you can pick, whatever allocation you do want to, what that's going to look like here for the future, but just know that that's based off that last 10 years. So the second calculator, that income quick quote, that's just solely going to be the income rider. So we're only showing the income rider for that. We're not going to show any sort of market performance on the contract side. So we just want to highlight the income rider and that specifically. So the income gap piece, income gap calculator, if you have a need that you need met, if there's a specific number you're looking for, we can look within that. And also the in-force, we can run illustrations on any in-force policy that has an income rider. We can take care of that as well. Town value and money calculators, I know there's some work we're doing on that, so I don't utilize that one as much here personally on my end, but I know they're working on that a little bit more too. So also, I did highlight that all the different indexes, if you have questions about them, they are all available at your fingertips as well. So you can see here, there's going to be direct links to each and every index. So feel free to check it out, see what those do look like, see if you have questions, if there's any more detail that you're wanting about them. All the ticker symbols are listed. And if you just click on that blue hyperlink box there, that'll get you, you can learn more about them. You can, like I said, look at the performance and figure out what you might want to do here for your clients. So yeah, a little bit about what I hinted on, service, trustworthiness. One title that our founder Dave Noble always described annuities is just sleep insurance. You don't have to worry about it when you go to bed. It's going to be there. It's not going to be any less than what you started with. So one thing that we've been great with Newsweek here, the past couple of years, we've been voted the #1 most trustworthy company in America when it comes to insurance. So you can see 2023, 2024, and again in 2025. So 3 years running here, we've been voted #1 as far as most trustworthy insurance company in the industry. So really, really, really proud of that. And hopefully we'll continue that into the future here as well. So wanted to highlight a little bit more here too. Just wrapping up here, but our loyalty rewards program. Just talked a little bit about what IMES has to offer. American Equity also does offer our loyalty rewards program. So basically, it's tiered out as far as the more production you do, the additional commissions and incentives that you can earn for that. So if you reach that $1 million mark with us here at American Equity, we can do an additional 25 basis points for you there in production, or premium, I should say. You reach that 2 to 5 million, we're throwing 50 basis points at you. 5 to 7 is 100. 7 to 10 is additional 125 basis points. And if you reach that 10 million plus, you're looking at an additional 150 basis points, or 1.5% additional on comp. But we do FedEx gift discounts. We do a lot of work recognizing people. We do events here at the home office for advisors as well. So a lot of other things that you can earn and get access to. So each year we do have a partner conference for our top folks. I think top 200 this year are going to go to Maui. That's going to be in this September. and our chairman's club is our top 15. So they are going to spend a couple extra days in Lanai, and then they'll head over to Maui. But I wanted to highlight that as an opportunity or something to shoot for here. And with that, I know we're wrapping up here for this year, but the event's in September. But how we do our trips is going to be on a calendar year basis. So January 1 to December 31st is how we do that. So again, something to shoot for, but this is based off of 25 production, and I am not 100% sure where next year is going to be, so stay tuned for that. But they usually do it really big. I know the previous year was in Greece. This is Hawaii. I know they've done Disney World in the past. Yeah, it's always somewhere really, really neat where they get to bring everybody and enjoy a week there. So last thing I wanted to highlight here is just a territory map. So we have a dedicated team of regional VPs that are out in the field, meeting advisors face to face on a daily basis, telling them, showing them how American Equity works. We also have a dedicated internal team as well. So each regional has a dedicated internal person, as well as a sales support specialist. In their absence, they can help cover that as well. So you can see my information over on the right hand side over there. I'm one of the key account managers with the team. So, and yeah, there's two other great folks that work with us here on the team. And yeah, if there's someone that you're not able to get in touch with directly, just know that we're here. We have a great team, great sales team, and we're here to help out any way possible and earn that business and keep that service level at that standard that we've always been accustomed to. So that is going to be everything that I'm going to have here for the folks today. Justin, was there anything that you wanted to add on, or anything else to share by chance?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Brian. Again, thanks for
Yeah.
your time of reviewing that. Question for you with your income rider with the LIBR. Can you make the decision whether to use joint income or your option for income at time of income versus time of issue, or do you have to do a joint income payout at issue with the spouse?
No, that's a great question. So the choice on single or joint income, that could be made when they want to turn the income on. It does not have to be made at policy inception. So
Nice.
yeah, because obviously things change. What's
Right.
going on today might not be the case in 10 years. Someone could get married and have that significant other added on there for sure.
Absolutely. No, great answer, or I like it. Thank you. And then the
Yeah.
other one that I've been being asked here, well, I'd like to just comment on, I really look forward to working further with that income gap calculator. And I know
Yeah.
several of the advisors I work with, we're going to want to hear more on that too. And Inforce, I think that's really unique, is via website. If you can go on and get an Inforce income rider quote for your
Yep.
existing business, I'm going to share that with our team here. That's
Yeah.
beneficial. Those of you in the room that that would benefit from that, definitely mention it. And then your trip, I love it, because during your trip, we're also, if you write that American Equity business through IMES, you're getting the credits for their trip, our trip. Use our back office, use IMES trips. At the same time, use our marketing dollars, use our services, earn with the production you submit, rather. And then at the same time, you're benefiting from American Equity's incentive compensation program, American Equity's trips, and their tools too. So couldn't be a better partnership. We're very appreciative of you and what you've done for us and our advisors. So thank you, and thank those of you that have attended. I'm going to share a couple polling questions here, if they will pull up for me this time. And once we get that done, make sure I've got no other questions here. Oh, I do have another question for you, Brian, before we do leave. And thank you, Richard, on this. They request to take a look at your flexible premium contracts and what the premium is what's involved. So your starting value, I know this story, but oftentimes we'll have some savers where you've got a smaller amount or an IRA amount. Can you speak a little bit towards how your additional contributions work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So any of our index products that American Equity is going to have to offer are going to be flexible. So I know specifically we talked about our IncomeShield product, which is going to be a fully flexible product. $5,000 gets you in the door with the IncomeShield product. We are fully flexible for the full duration of the product. So just know that $5,000 can get you in the door today. If the client wants to set up systematic withdrawals from, like, let's say like their bank account or something like that. If they want to do as low as like $50 a month, we can do that. We just need that 5,000 to get the ball rolling. Any additional, with the IncomeShield product, any additional funds that are added on the contract value side, those do go into the fixed allocation until policy anniversary, and the client can reallocate at that point in time. But anything added to the income account value will go in at that point in time, and will start earning at that point moving forward. So if they're 4 months into the policy, they'll get an additional 8 months of growth on the income account value, whatever that equates to be. So if that makes sense. Also, one thing I did want to share with you: first year premiums with the bonus offering, with the IncomeShield bonus, any premiums added within that first policy year will also receive that said bonus. So just know that is a thing, and that is a fully commissionable event to the advisor as well in that first year.
Nice, thank you for that. Yeah, that's appreciated that, by company practice, you add that bonus in that first year. Can be a huge benefit. Paired up with the income gap calculator. The question that I love, it reminded me of a yellow pad sales idea that an advisor years back told me. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name to give him credit, but same thing. Here's your desired expenses, categorize them like you did is even better. Here's your fixed and guaranteed income sources currently, Social Security, pension. Here's the remaining amount. How much of this remaining amount would you like to insure?
Yep.
Bottom line, right?
Yep.
How much of it you'd like to insure? Well, what does that mean? Similar to Social Security? Yeah. How much of that would you like to make sure is there, regardless of the account balance, regardless of blah? And that allows you to really back in better. If you sell wealth management, if you do assets under management, now you have the remaining amount that may be over the if I could, or my wanted versus my desired versus my needed expenses. A lot easier to take losses, not have to worry about sequence of return risk. So appreciate the questions. I'm not able to get the questionnaire up, so I am going to send a update. Brian, I'll carbon you on this as well to everybody that attended today. It'll be complete with a link to the recorded webinar with a copy of our presentation. If you would have interest in, like Brian said, you can definitely take a look at their non-password protected website that'll be on here. But I'll put in there, if you have an interest in partnering with American Equity or adding them to your list with IMES, we can send Assurance Bay link out to you and get you right to the calculators he was referring to, and Brian's team as well. Appreciate your time and everyone on here. Brian, can't thank you enough, man. Look forward to next year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, and like I said, feel free to pass my information along. I should probably go back to that. But yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Pass my information along there, Justin, to anybody. And perfect. Really appreciate everything.
Absolutely. I'll add it to the email. And again, guys, just old school, reply back to the email from me or talk to your marketer, your direct contact here if you have any question on what you'd like from the presentation, or Brian. I'll put your contact information on there. Have a great one, guys.
Of course. Thanks. Have a happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Okay.